I think I've sorted it. Oh my days. Right. What a nightmare. So is anybody gonna join me? I've got a beer on the go. Okay. Right, let's wait until a few people come in and then we'll have a chat. Right, just 2 seconds. One person's come in. I'm just going to shut my door and keep the cats out. Okay, well, okay, chat is working. So that's the main thing. Obviously, there was someone in the live and then they fucked off. Right, give it a couple of minutes. Okay, so I've got one person. Is he going to stay? Are they going to go? Who knows? The chat is working, so please just say hello in the chat for me, just so I know that it's all good. Oh dear, I've got the old amber nectar. I needed that after last night, I ain't gonna lie. So, okay. Who's going to join? Anybody going to join? Maybe I should have done this later. I do not know. Oh, 2. Okay, look, please have a look in the chat. Let me know if the chat's working, please, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, one person's come on and fucked off. Yeah. Just getting used to this technology. On my laptop tonight. Look at that, a little bit fashion. If anybody is interested, the artwork behind me is my wife's. I've been, yeah, she does the odd. Hey, sure, I hate you're not kidding. She does a bit of art now and again. She goes to these art things and she enjoys it. So I'm quite proud of her for that factor. She probably get a bit embarrassed me showing them on here, but it is what it is. Okay, right. So look, my good friend and nemesis at times, Richard, the old Suffolk Crunch. If you don't know much about Rich, he's probably one of the most dedicated town fans I think I know. There's not much he doesn't know about the club. Absolutely bleeds blue. I mean, I'm not joking. He really does bleed blue. He is a absolute, legend of a guy. We have some great banter, great chats, disagreements, and he's got his own YouTube channel. So if you don't know now, please hop over to any time to the Suffolk Crunch and check out his YouTube channel. He's got quite a few thousand followers now. I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking to have an opinion on here about my beloved club and go from there. I'm Mike. I'm Mike the Fisherman, a Marmite character of Ipswich Town fan base. Some people love me. Some people think I'm an absolute bellend, but I take it as it comes. Doesn't bother me. I just enjoy my club. So, and this is the Fisherman's Blues channel. So let's get into it, shall we? So we get relegated from the Premier League, and how can we put this? We are sort of, we're bringing in players, and so we bring in. Oh my God, this is bad. I'm gonna have to check out because there's been. I've got just come back from a managers' conference last night, and I'm absolutely knackered. So I'm gonna just catch up on some info that I stored on here. Right, okay. So obviously, at the start of the transfer window, we brought in Matasui. Matisiwa, is it? I can never pronounce his name. We got Capri on loan. So, and then we brought in Button, which was a bit of a strange one for me, I'm not going to lie. I guess he's probably coming for more of a coaching role rather than going to play. Might play the odd game. Maybe in a Mickey Mouse Cup or something, but there isn't many. We're out of the EFL, so that's not a major loss. And then obviously Ashley Young came in, and then it's been like, well, what's going on? We knew Delat was going, and my info I have in front of me says that we, like I said, we sold him for £35.5 million, apparently, according to transfers.co.uk. And then we sold Amari for 43.4, according to them, with add-ons. And then what I could only describe is a absolute, what started off to be the massive demolition of our Premier League team. And I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty annoyed about it. Broadhead's gone to Wrexham. Didn't want him to go. I thought there was a player in him for this season, 100%. Transibi was always going to go back to the Premier League. And to be honest, I weren't bothered about Transibi going. I weren't overly that impressed with him. He's too injury prone. One of the ones that did hurt was Burgess. Burgess going on a free. Doing really well at Swansea, for what I gather. Absolutely, Jack. Look, I'm just going to put this down. A genuine shirt as well. None of these copies for this. So, proper old shirt. And I lost the red bits on here, but there we are. Is what it is. It's nice to. I don't cling on the past. I do like to look back at what we've achieved, because, when you look at the people up north of the A140, they haven't really done a lot, have they? They've just been a yo-yo club for the Premier League, really. Let's be honest. And then, like I said, Burgess left. I wasn't happy about that. I thought, he was 29 or 28, 29. Oh, just Burgess, 29. Got easily a good couple of years left in him. A player that I highly rate. Got knocked back quite a few times by a few fans, including my good friend Cruncher. Said he weren't good enough for the Championship. Proved him wrong. Proved us wrong. Proved them people wrong. And then Premier League, I thought by far better than Greaves. Much more experienced, and just commanded that left side of the centre backs really well. And then it's just obviously Harness goes, Luongo goes. You expect them players to go. Gutted that Morsey went. Morsey was an absolute. He was the main cog of our team. And look, I respect. He goes. He's on good money. Good evening, David Bergen. How are you, my man? How are you across the pond in Ireland, my friend? I hope things as well over there. And then obviously Morsey goes, and then it's like, okay, so that's like yeah, that's a painful one. And as a fan base, we're all gutted because achieved, and then it's just been. And then we have a really quiet time in the transfer window, and obviously the start hasn't been great. We haven't lost a game, but we haven't looked like winning a game either. And like I said, when you see what's left of the Premier League promotion side, it's just, I know. Look, the thing is, Ashton said we'll retain as much as we can. Jack, you are absolutely bang on the money. Burgess had a great understanding with Leif Davis. And I think if it had started over Griezmann last season, I think we may have got more points. We don't know. It's hindsight. We can't change that now. We are where we are. But it's the players that have now gone that's really hurt me. One of our own, Luke Wolfenden, gone to Coventry, where I was last night. Funny enough, I was at Coventry Stadium. The old Coventry, was it the Building Society or something? I was up there at a conference, and we were in the main players' lounge last night having a few drinky boos. I'm talking about drinky boos. Can I have a quick swig of this? Can't be rude not to. And then, I mean, their pitch. I mean, that's if they can get a full crowd there regularly, that's going to be a quite intimidating place, because it's the seats, front row seats, right close to the pitch, and you just think, whoa, lovely stadium. I'm glad it's back in Coventry City's hands and stuff. So obviously Wolfie's gone there, and I told family that I was going up there, and they all said, "Is there any chance you can bring Wolfie back?" I said, "Well, I'll try," but I didn't see him. But how it is. And then obviously with the biggest hurt again was Chaplin going, and it's like we've completely demolished the Premier League winning side. I mean, completely demolished it. I think there's 3 players left. I mean, Muric is gone. I mean, look, let's be fair, Muric was a bit of a disaster signing, but Muric is gone. Chappers has gone. And players like Jack Taylor are still here. I just find that very confusing. I'm not the manager. I'm not the owners. I'm not the CEO of the club. They make the decisions. They decide what goes on and what doesn't go on. For me, Ashton's kind of gone back on what he'd said, and that was we would retain most of the players, so we have a settled side to try and get back up. But no, it's been a complete demolition of our Premier League side, and it's a painful one to take, because while you look at someone like Philogene, who for me has been not great, you think, are the players that we brought in better than the players that we had? You could argue maybe a few, but let's be honest, we don't know. We really don't know what's going on. I think. Look, I got hammered on the socials saying, "Oh, I think Ashton owes us an explanation to why we've gone about things the way we have this transfer window." When you see players who are well involved with the charities at Ipswich leave and go back to a club where we got them from, like Portsmouth, Jack, it does feel like McKenna is behind all the changes, but it's hard to understand. Then McKenna's got to come out and give us some idea of what the plan is, because at the moment, every game I've watched this season, we've been 11 individuals. We've not been very progressive. We've not been very direct with our play. And people hear that direct word and feel long ball. No, not ball. I'm talking direct. Philogene is a player that needs to be let loose. He did that a whole, and he was, very good. Let him attack players, let him go down the byline, stop passing the ball back, boy. You got, backwards passing. When you see players that the percentage, like centre backs, they're getting more possession of the ball than actual, midfielders and forwards. You think, well, that's madness, because, if you look at how Liverpool play and how they're playing, and yes, they've got world-class players, but they play a long ball, they play a long pass, and they play into the channels for Salah and I can't think who's playing on the left-hand side now, but Darwin Nunez, that they were running down and they hit player. They'd literally bypass the midfield and hit them channels, and they'd be run into it. Some of our play in the last, say, couple of games, when we have tried to play this, we've not played channels. It's been too straight up to Hurst, who last game we all know is very poor. David says Chaplin is class, plus has a great vision. It's the best passer at the club. Chaplin can give the ball away a few times. There's no bones about that. But what I will say is he creates a lot. I thought he was one of our better players at the weekend, and when he went off, I didn't think there was much creativity. And it just feels that, like I said, there is no leadership on the pitch. And now like I said, we have got to go forward now with the players that we've got. For me, this transfer window has been a bitter pill to swallow, watching the team that gave us, I mean, let's be honest, right? After the doldrums, after the Evans era, we got new owners, and Paul Cook did the demolition on the old team and done a good job of it, really. And then he was the one that brought Morsey in. I think Paul Cook's problem was he made it more about him than he did the club. It was he'd come out for the players, waving to all the fans, whereas McKenna, like, the players go out and McKenna walks out afterwards, because it's the players, about the players, not coaches, managers get the plaudits if the players are playing well and winning games, and rightly so. I said in my last video after the Derby game, I think McKenna's used up all his credit. It doesn't mean to say I want him to go. I want him to do well. I think there's you don't become a bad manager overnight. You don't become. But you can lose your way as a manager. You can, he's got given a bit of time. For me, we got to start winning games. That's the key. We got Sheffield United next game, and then I think who we got after that. Oh dear, Portsmouth. We got them, and then I know we got obviously October the 5th, the old Norwich Derby. And imagine if we haven't won a game, we lose that Norwich Derby at home. I promise you now, I ain't going to be sitting here going, McKenna needs a bit more time and all that. I'm not having it. That would be the icing on the cake for me. That would be the nail in the coffin game. So David says, I think there's something fundamentally wrong in the dressing room. Look, I heard a few rumours. Not last week before, about a big bust up on the training ground between certain players, it might be why Chaplin's decided to leave. Did he want to go? I don't know. He from his interview, it came across like he didn't want to leave. So it's like, players of 28 and 29 are in their prime now. It used to be about 26, 27, where the old days, the ploughed fields of, Christ, when we beat Man United 6-0, I remember that game, and that was like, the pitch was just, I see Norfolk Fields ploughed better. And and like I say, Jack's. What we got? Okay, so so David says Blackburn, Portsmouth, Bristol City. Yeah, yes. So like I said, we've got some key games. I think there's some very winnable games there. I think 1, 2. I think really, if we are to start sort of stamping our authority on this league and bringing in players to into the first team, they need to step up, and we need to be faster with the ball, quicker with the passes. And just be more proactive, more direct with our play. I know, like obviously we play out from the back and all that, but we need to be a bit different sometimes, and because we are very predictable. But Jack Smith says, who do you suggest could replace McKenna? Right. Okay. So there's two managers I've been watching very closely, and I think they've got a good like philosophy of how to play the game. They've got some good plan A's and plan B's and plan C's. For me, let's be honest, I don't want McKenna to go. If me, I would definitely go for Rossignol. Absolutely. David says that. Jay, Suffolk and Norfolk Carping. I love a bit of Carping, Jay. Love it, mate. I'm going at the end of the month, so I'm looking forward to that. Got some work to do down my lakes. Nunes could be the player that we need, and Egeli could be an important once he gets used to the hustle and bustle of the Championship. We try to walk the ball into the net. That sums it up perfectly. I'm not going to lie. We do. We try and walk the ball into the net. There's hardly any shots on outside the box, on the edge of the area. So anyway, getting back to the managers, Rossignol was one manager that I would have in a heartbeat if a managerial change happened. The other one would have been who I really was pissed off that I got him was Liam Manning. I think he's got, he's done well as a manager. Norwich fans are not overly keen on him. I think it's probably more so the fact he was an ex-Ipswich player, or was Agent Manning. David says we're not Barcelona, and this is my point. I mean, you've only got to look at Man City in the last couple of seasons. Teams are figuring out how to play against them now. They're leaving gaps on the left backs and the right backs, and people are hitting balls into the channels, which is what I've been saying for a long time. Hit the balls into the channels, let your forward players run onto it. It's not a long ball. It's just it's a way of beating the press sometimes, Be different, be unpredictable. And once you start winning games, you start having this psychological advantage over your team that you're playing. And that is massive in football. Psychologically, if you're winning games, if you're winning a lot of your games, instead of teams going, look, Ipswich are not playing well right now, let's get at them and we can get some points out of them. People are going, right, Ipswich are really doing well at the moment. We've got to be on our toes. We've got to, so your team's talk is different. It's going to be a lot different. And I think that's what we need to get back to. Do we have the manager that can do that? Absolutely. Do we have the players that can do that? At the moment, we don't know, because they need that word, gel. I don't think gel is the right word. They need to settle. They need to settle. They need to train. It's 2 weeks before their next game. For me, they've got to, that's their 2 weeks of huge amount of sort of building a team spirit, build a bit of camaraderie, and We need that. We need that team spirit back. We need that because it's gone at the moment. It's completely left. It's left with all the players that have gone out the window. You know, and I know the transfer window, you know, is going to be remembered for Nunes coming from Norwich, and I've spoken about that. But you know, it's there's players that we have that are more than capable of getting us out of this division. Atreides, we love McKenna, but look at Sunderland and Leeds at the moment and their tactics they play. McKenna, objectively speaking, has been poor for this club for nearly 2 years now, and his teams are always conceding. Do you know what? Stats back that up. You know. I said the last video, better managers have been sacked. Simple as, better managers have. Jay Suffolk, Norfolk and Carping say, why don't we have two up front as well? One up front always isn't the answer. It's a lot to ask for Hurst. Maybe try Akpom by himself. Not sure Hurst is a Delap type striker. Jack says, McKenna is a momentum manager. He's struggling now. The pressure's on. Well, you could Jack. I mean, I get your point. Let's go back to Jay's comment. I mean, Akpom's probably more of a number 10. So obviously, I think that's why McKenna or Ashton's decided to let Chaplin go out on loan. I'm just going to grab a quick beer. Hurst. Again, Hurst isn't a bad player. He doesn't become a bad player. I just think he's a confidence player. I think his confidence shot at the moment. The team isn't bonding very well on the pitch. And a lot of managers, when a manager's doing well, you could argue you become a momentum manager. But it's when things aren't going right that you become a better manager. So, the pressure's on McKenna. There's no two ways about it. But he's earned the right to build another team. I'm not going to say otherwise. And it's just stats at the moment don't back it up. As David said, he's only won 4 out of the last 44 games. Our last championship win was against Huddersfield. Our last competitive win was against Chelsea at home.